Like those freestyle rappers, people walk up to them on the street, they give them 3 words, and then they'll just string together this amazing rap song. And it's like, how do you do that? That's like how I am with business. If you ask me about US history or nutrition, I'm totally ignorant. But like my work is my love, is my passion. It's all entrepreneurship. It's all business.
You're listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. Who doesn't want to make a few extra $1,000s a week? If you're a stay-at-home mom looking to make money and passive income, or perhaps you're a college student looking to make a few extra $1,000s a week, yes, I said week, or maybe your partner is trying to start a business or needing financial ideas in the workspace, Chris Koerner, entrepreneur, husband, dad, and owner of multiple 8-figure businesses, joins me today to share his advice and take on starting your own business. We dive into what not to do, the top business ideas that are scalable, and even business ideas that don't need any overhead, which you can do from the comfort of your own home. Chris also shares how he lost 60 pounds in 5 months. We really do cover a variety of topics today, and I can't wait for you to listen. A large 2022 meta-analysis found that people who consumed the highest amount of olive oil were 31% less likely to develop cancer. This may be due to the antioxidants in olive oil, which may help reduce oxidative damage caused by free radicals, which is a leading driver of cancer. A 2023 study found that olive oil was linked with lower inflammatory markers in people with rheumatoid arthritis, especially for more severe disease activity. Olive oil contains compounds that may inhibit and even kill harmful bacteria. One of these is H. pylori, which is a bacterium that lives in your stomach and may cause stomach ulcers and even stomach cancer. Studies have found that extra virgin olive oil may help fight against certain strains of this bacterium. Needless to say, start taking olive oil daily, but don't just pick any olive oil off the fluorescent lit store shelves, because all the beneficial compounds I just mentioned are most likely gone, rancid, and oxidized. Not to mention, some brands even cut their olive oil with other products such as seed oils to stretch a buck and make more profit. Have you even looked at the date the olive oil in your kitchen was produced? Most likely, it's over a year or 2 old. Casandrino's olive oil is different. They own their own farm in Greece, harvest their olives, press the olives, and bottle their extra virgin organic oil all in the same day. They ship it straight to America to arrive at your doorstep as little as 2 weeks from production, so you know you are getting the freshest, cleanest, and highest antioxidant olive oil available. This stuff is like medicine, and you can see and taste the difference in the color when you compare it to other olive oils. So stop buying rancid, oxidized, old olive oil from the store and get the freshest olive oil to benefit your health and make your meals taste 10 times better. Get 25% off if you go to casandrinos.com/digest and use code DIGEST at checkout. You can also click the link in today's show notes, which will automatically apply the 25% off discount. Again, you can go to KASANDRINOS.com/digest and use the code DIGEST. Chris, you are addicted to entrepreneurship, to say the least, and you've started and sold multiple 8-figure companies in several different industries, or probably more than I am even aware. So what got you started in entrepreneurship, first of all?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in northern Utah and kind of lower middle class, and there just wasn't money for stuff. And I didn't like that. I lived across the street from this golf course, and these dirty golf balls would fly into my yard, and I would clean them and put them in a wagon and sell them 3 for $1. And that's where I got my first taste of entrepreneurship.
Dang, okay. And ever since then, that's been what you've been doing, right?
That's it.
Okay, so this is interesting, and I want you to share your story about John McAfee, because you partnered with technically a legend, and how did you even connect with this guy?
Yeah, I guessed his email address.
You guess.
I couldn't find record of it because he's so secretive. So I just started like typing in, John at McAfee.com, JM, J McAfee, and they kept bouncing back until they didn't.
Okay. And so why did you want to connect with him? What's the story there, and what even like perked your interest in doing this?
Yeah, so I had created like this math equation that could help me predict what direction crypto was going in. Not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, but like the smaller cryptocurrencies. And so my math equation, it developed like a hype score, is what I called it. How many people online were talking about this cryptocurrency? And then I would divide it by the market cap, by how popular the crypto, by how many people owned it. And if few people were talking about it, but a lot of people owned it, then I thought it would go down in value. And if a lot of people were talking about it, but few people owned it, then I thought it would go up in value. And that was my thesis, and it worked. I started investing in my own thesis, and it was working. And so I wanted to sell this. I wanted to monetize that knowledge somehow. And so John was like the biggest influencer in crypto at the time. And so I just thought, if I can get his attention, then I'm going to launch this with him. If I can't, then it's not worth launching because I had a million other things going. So,
My goodness. Okay. So we are currently in 2026. And for those listening that maybe want to start a business and they're tired of their job, they just want to go, but perhaps they don't have the income, like the money to start a business. Like, is it possible to start a business from scratch? And how would you do that?
it has never been more possible to start a business. It's never been easier to start a business with taking the lowest amount of risk possible. With AI and automation and all these research tools that are out there, you don't need to risk a ton of money or a ton of time to validate a business before launching. So the question is like, what do you know the best? What do you love? Preferably both those things are true. You know a topic, you love a topic, you have some experience there, and the world has a demand for it. Like the world will pay you for that. And what was your original question?
Well, I just want to know, how can someone start a business from nothing? Like, do you really have to have experience in something to start a business? Let's just say it's not someone's passion. They're just like, I need to make money, right? I need to provide for
Yeah.
my family. What would you do? Or how would someone do that?
I think oftentimes it's better that you don't have experience in whatever you're trying to start, because the people that do, the quote unquote experts, are biased, and oftentimes they're kind of jaded to the industry and they see the worst parts about it. And the people that go into it with, you know, ignorance, for lack of a better word, they don't know what they don't know, and they're willing to try things and test things that people like established in the industry would just overlook. So the best thing that you can do is to find a problem and to find a way of solving it for people, preferably business owners or preferably people that have more money. It sounds obvious, but all else equal, you're going to have more success trying to sell a product or a service to an audience that has more money.
Do you think selling a service is better than a product? Because a service, technically, you don't have to make anything.
hmm Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like outliers, but all else equal, I think you're better off selling a service because it's much less risk and much less money up front, and you're basically selling your time. And people look at service businesses as not scalable, but that's not true. They're just less scalable. I firmly believe that any business can be scaled. It's just a matter of how, and how hard is it to scale.
Okay, interesting. So let's just say you went to college for some topic and now you're marketing your services to a business, and you're technically not under that business, right? You're like not on their payroll or whatever. They just pay you, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like
Like
a
contracting.
contractor.
Yeah.
hmm
Would that be technically a business, or because you are you're working for yourself, but you're also
hmm
working for that person? Does that make sense?
hmm Yeah, I would consider that a business. Yeah.
Okay. So, what about moms, like stay-at-home moms that are looking to make some passive income, right? They don't have a
hmm
lot of time. They've got kids, but they need to contribute for their financial state. What are some examples that a stay-at-home mom could do?
First of all, I love that you asked that. I absolutely love hiring stay-at-home moms. Like I love hiring busy moms, which might seem counterintuitive, but have you ever heard of Parkinson's law, Bethany?
No, explain that.
So Parkinson's law is the theory that tasks and or work expands or contracts to fit the time allotted to it. So if you go back to high school, let's say you forget, you have this big project due and you forget until the day before, you're going to find a way to get it done in time. Like maybe you pull an all-nighter, but you're just going to make it happen. Whereas if you don't forget and you have 3 months to get a project done, like you're probably going to need and take all 3 months to get it done. Right? Or if you just have an especially busy morning ahead of you and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get all this done. I've got to go run here. I got to do this. I got to take the kids here. I got to hop on the Zoom. Like you just get it done because you have to find creative ways to do it. Whereas if you have like nothing on the schedule all day, you probably don't get a lot done. You just don't use your time wisely. So that's Parkinson's law. It was invented decades ago and I see it everywhere. And so busy moms are the perfect example of this because you just keep putting more on their plate and they just get it done because they have to. And so then, when their kids are in school or they finally start going to school or they're out of their house, like they're just these productivity machines because they've been trained over years. Like their baseline for stress is so much higher than the average person's. And so I would rather hire a busy person. You've heard the phrase, like, if you need something done, give it to a busy person, right? That's like Parkinson's law. They have a higher stress tolerance. They're just able to get more done. So that didn't answer your question, but I wanted to make a note of that. Like,
no, I love, are you hiring? Is anyone listening?
I just hired an assistant and she's a busy mom.
Is she a busy mom? All right.
So sometimes like what I notice is people can get really, really creative in coming up with excuses why they shouldn't start a business. Like, well, maybe when the kids are in school or maybe when this or maybe, but like, there's no excuse. Like if we truly want to, like we can find and make time for it.
What are some examples? Like, do you have any past examples of like a busy mom or what do you see trending right now that's like up and coming?
Yeah. I love agencies where you charge a flat monthly fee to solve a problem for a business owner. That could be like non-AI related. It could be social media management. Social media management has been around for a decade or more, but it's still in high demand. Like business owners know that it's important to post to social media, but they just don't want to think about it. And sometimes they don't even need it to like bring in new customers. They just want their pages to look busy, to look active. Because when their customers are looking for a roofing business and they go see that their local roofer doesn't have any social media presence, they're less likely to use them. And that could be a $20,000 job that's lost because they're not paying someone $500 a month to just post. Even if it's AI generated stuff, like it's better than nothing. And so social media management is perfect for busy moms because it can be done any time of the day or night. You can schedule posts. Most moms are like social media savvy. They're native. They speak that language. So that's a great one. And then just using AI to write content for business owners or to like stage homes for real estate agents. Like we all know that real estate is more likely to sell for a higher price if the homes are staged, right? But it's very expensive and it's time consuming and sweaty to have to move furniture in and out of a home. But now with these AI tools, you can just take a picture of an empty room and you can stage it virtually with AI and it looks 100% real and it helps real estate agents sell more homes, right? So,
okay, but what if it's not physically staged and like they go there and they're like, oh shoot, it's empty.
That's okay. Right?
Okay.
Like it's not like it's a way of getting more interest on like your Zillow listing, right? And if someone goes to a Zillow listing and it's not staged and it just looks ugly, then they're never going to visit the house. But if it is staged and they visit the house and it's not actually staged, like it doesn't matter. It's the same house. They're already there. They're not going to be like, oh, what? I thought this had a couch right here, because it doesn't come with the house anyway. So I know several people that are doing that with a lot of success. They're charging per picture, they're charging per listing, they're charging per month. There's a bunch of different ways you can do that.
Very interesting. Yeah. With AI now, I think that it can certainly be helpful. I am personally not a fan of AI. I just think that it's taking away more physical jobs, and it's
Hmm.
just now like everyone's not going to have a job because AI is taking over. Obviously, there's some jobs that require physical people. What's your take on AI, and how do you see that changing the future?
Yeah. I'm, I mean, AI is coming, right? Like it's a tidal wave. It's
Yeah.
coming whether we like it or not. I do worry, like you, about jobs and about like what a lot of people are going to do. But I look at AI a lot like I look at home ownership, right? The middle class is struggling, and they have been for a decade or two, and the home ownership rate is dropping, and people have to make like a very conscious decision more than they ever have, and that's what side of it do they want to be on? Do they want to be a homeowner? And a lot of people don't want to, and that's fine. They want the flexibility to rent, and that's perfectly fine. But like 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, the mailman owned a home. Our cashier owned a home. That's like completely out of reach now. And so my point is like the middle class is disappearing, and it's sad to see, but people have to make a decision. Like, do they want to be an owner or a renter, right? And I look at AI in the same way. Like, do they want to be on the receiving end of AI, or do they want to be the one enabled by AI and like the one that's now superhuman because they understand these AI tools? And now's the time to do that, just to spend a couple hours a week learning how to use these tools so they can become more of an asset at work, because we're not like people won't be replaced by AI. They're going to be replaced by someone that knows how to use AI, right?
I
So
like
we
that
need
quote.
to learn it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then kind of going back to the whole stay-at-home mom situation, I knew a woman a long time ago, and she created a daycare at her home because she was like, well, I'm already watching my grandson. I
Hmm.
might as well watch all the kids and get paid for it. Or maybe it's your own child and you're like, well, I'm
Hmm.
doing this already. I might as well throw in like 5 more kids or whatever and do it all for all these kids. And then obviously they make friends, and that's like basically your day. What do you think of that? Because I know there's some legal stuff that has to happen. Like if it's over a certain amount of kids, then you have to
Hmm.
have whatever, like an extra person and like all these like checks and balances.
I think it's a great business because it's a business that you can scale just with your immediate circle, your immediate friends and family. You don't have to learn Facebook ads or Google ads. You don't have to be cold calling or cold emailing. It's just like you said, it's economies of scale, right? And it's the same with having kids. It was harder for us to have one kid than it is to have four because they entertain each other, and so a daycare is similar. Like I'm already watching my 1 to 3 kids. And I'm already pulling my hair out. They might be able to entertain themselves even better if I had more kids here, and I could be able to charge for it, charge quite a bit actually. And the costs that go into that are like, okay, I need to buy extra goldfish from Costco this week, like
Right.
some extra fruit slices.
Yeah. A few more toys. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you probably need to get licensed. Depends on the state. You probably need better insurance, just so you're protected legally. But other than that, I think that's an amazing business for moms.
Yeah. Or even someone listening, I'm thinking of like, this is just coming off the top of my head, maybe like a group of women and you trade off. So like maybe you need to get like errands done one day, and then the next person watches all the kids, and then you kind of
Hmm.
you go in a circle, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Okay. So what are the top 3 businesses you should not start?
Mm,
Like what's like a don't even touch it with a 10-foot pole?
yeah, that's a great question. So there's a saying, and that's hardware is hard. Like physical products, it's just hard. Like that shouldn't be a first business, right? Physical products are very difficult. You've got patenting, licensing. You're probably manufacturing something overseas, packaging. Stay away from physical products. And a lot of people have like invention ideas and they want to. And there are exceptions to everything. But the failure rate is much, much higher when developing and selling physical products. So that's number one. Second one are restaurants, right? Restaurants are just tough. They have a much higher failure rate than almost any other business category. I think like 70% of restaurants close within the first 3 years. You're spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to open, all just to enjoy like 5 to 15% profit margins. And then you have to sign 10-year leases, like there's liabilities, food handling.
Food safety, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not restaurants.
Okay, I want to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Would
please.
Food trucks be part of that or no?
Food trucks they're better, right? Because you can hedge your risk a little more. And you can like you can't, if you get in a 10-year lease to the restaurant, you're kind of screwed if it doesn't work out. But a food truck, you just resell the food truck. You might take a little haircut when you sell it, but definitely lower risk. Like that could be a good like foray into the restaurant business to prove your concept with a food truck and then to scale up to a physical restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's the third? If you can think of one.
It's tough. This is a tough question for me because I'm like such an optimist and I genuinely believe any business idea could work.
I heard cleaning isn't the best.
Yes. So yes, cleaning, I've had a cleaning business in the past. It is very, very difficult. So I have this framework that I call binary outcomes, right? I want a business where I have a binary outcome. For example, I own a tree trimming business. Customer calls us and says, this branch is hanging over my house. I need it gone. We show up, we remove the branch, we get paid. That's it. Like yes, that's it. 5-star review or 1-star review. If like we crash through their house or like we just don't show up but like we're going to do those things. They're simple things, right? So I guess that's a good way of like explaining what a binary outcome is. It's a type of business where you either get a 1-star review or a 5-star review, and you really have to screw up to get a 1-star review, right? A restaurant is not that. Like my server was nice, but my food was gross, and it took me 3 hours to get a table. I got my table right away, but my food took 50 minutes. Like there are so many things that, yeah. Cleaning business was that. I had a cleaning business in 2018, and oh man, like you're working with independent contractors, cleaners that don't show up, cleaners that might steal, cleaners that like do a great job with the baseboards, but they don't vacuum. And then you've got the variables of the customers. Like some customers are just chill and they're cool. Some customers are like, there's a hair behind the toilet. Come back, We heard everything. So there's so many ways you can screw up in that business. I like it for the reasons I like the daycare business because anyone can get involved. Like there's no barrier to entry. Like anyone can start
cleaning. There's like no overhead. Yeah.
No overhead. Like if you're doing it all yourself and you're good, it could be a great way to make a good bit of money. But if you're trying to scale it and have like cleaners under you and play all these logistical games, it's very difficult.
Okay. Interesting. So maybe it could be like your own business, but not a huge business like quote corporate where you have all these employees.
Yes.
Interesting. Sure. Yeah. And you do bring up a good point that the people really do matter, like the customer. Like you could have those nitpicky OCD people that's like, I see a speck of dust over like behind the door or like, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. And then whatever, you have to go back and then you have to comp them like a free cleaning or something.
Yeah. And also if you have contractors working for you, your customer can go over your head and steal them from you, right? Because let's say your customer's paying you $250 for a clean, you're paying the cleaner $125. The cleaner and the customer become friends because they're there for 3 hours. It's like, hey, just how much are they paying you for this job? $125. What? I'm paying them $250. Why don't you just work for me directly? I'll pay you $150. You'll make more. I'll save money. You really got to watch out for that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Man, yeah, like businesses, you really have to be careful in entrepreneurship or starting a business. And there are pros and cons. Me having my own businesses, it's tough for sure. And I always tell people, don't ever start your own business. And I know you are like, no, start it, entrepreneurship. And I'd love your opinion because I'm I mean, I fell into this business, right? It's not like I quit my job to do this, right? Out of just like health circumstances. And I'm very grateful for it. I love it. I can't see myself doing anything else. Anyways, but there's a lot of stuff that you have to think about, like health insurance, retirement, paid time off, sick days. Like you don't get those when you have your own business.
Yeah, that's the trade-off that we choose to make.
Yeah, yeah. So would you say it's fair to say you're working 7 days a week?
No, I don't work on Sundays like at all. Saturdays, I'm usually like with my family, sporting events, working in the yard. I'll pull aside an hour or two to knock out some emails. Monday through Friday, I'm working 7 to 5. But I have all 4 kids in school. I take them to school many days. I'll see them. I try to see them when they come home. And then I try to just leave the MacBook here in the office all the time and then spend the whole evenings with the family. So I work like, call it 50 hours a week, but it doesn't feel like work. I genuinely love it. And I'm teaching my kids entrepreneurship. So
Wow, I love it. I was going to guess a lot more working for sure. I need to get to your level or
yeah.
I need to go down to your level, whatever that means. It sounds like you have a good family life for sure. So for those that don't follow you on Instagram, I love the way you start every single reel. And that's, look at this freaking thing.
Yeah.
And it's so catchy and I love it. And what you do is you talk about other people's businesses and what they're doing. Can you share a little bit more about what you do on that platform?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like, my knowledge of anything in the world is an inch wide and a mile deep, right? Business. Like like those freestyle rappers, people walk up to them on the street, they give them 3 words, and then they'll just string together this amazing rap song that incorporate like these 3 random words. And it's like, how do you do that? Or like improv comics. It's like, you just give them something and they run with it and they're hilarious. And it's like, you didn't even prep. How do you do that? That's like how I am with business. If you ask me about US history or nutrition or anything, I'm totally ignorant, right? But like my work is my love, is my passion. It's all entrepreneurship. It's all business. So when I'm swiping on Instagram, seeing anything, it's like most of the stuff I feature isn't even a business. It could be just someone doing something, but I see business in all of it. And so I love content because it's my way of just kind of putting my weird brain out there to the world, right? How I look at the world. Like anyone's brain is interesting to someone else, right? Let's say 1 in 100 people think that your brain is interesting. Well, that's like 800 million people on this planet, Did I get that right? No, sorry. 80 million people is 1% of the population.
I'm all just nodding my head. I'm like, yeah,
sure,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
And so when I see these videos, I used to just swipe Instagram mindlessly and just think these thoughts. And now I just hit record on my camera and I publish them. And so everything you're seeing in those videos, like each video takes me, so I don't edit them. So not including the editing, but like the scripting and everything, like the research, finding out the idea, all that, like 2 to 3 minutes, right?
Oh my God.
Right.
I'm like, a recipe that's 15 seconds will take me all day.
I'm sure. And I feel for you. I'm sure. And
Okay.
that's like what that has to be by nature of what you're doing, right? There's not really a way you can shortcut that. But like that's what I've spent my whole life doing, 38 years now.
Wow. And I love, give us some examples of some of your favorite clips or favorite entrepreneur businesses that you've found. Like, I don't know why this keeps popping into my mind, probably because it was food, but it was like a banana dipping company. And all they did was like dip bananas and they were making like bank.
Yeah. In Balboa Island. They sell these $7 chocolate dip bananas and their costs are like under $1. And they sell like 1,000 a day or something crazy. And it's just so approachable. Like you don't need a retail store to do that. You could do it from home. Like anyone could buy the ingredients from a store. Like I just love businesses like that are approachable. I don't like talking about billion-dollar ideas or the next Uber. Like I like talking about things that are approachable to the vast majority of people.
totally approachable. So let's just say it's a $7 dipped banana. It costs them $1 to make, and they're selling 1,000 a day. That's $6,000 they're making per day.
In profit, yeah.
Profit. And let's just say maybe, some overhead or whatever.
Yeah, you've got labor and rent.
Yeah, and all that. But like $6,000 a day minus a few like things that you have to pay for, like that's pretty good for dipped bananas.
Yeah. Heck yeah. There was another video, this guy in Utah that makes $15,000 a month in profit just making garage shelves. And he sells them only on Facebook Marketplace, like no website, no ads. He just posts to Facebook Marketplace, these garage shelves, and he makes 15 grand a month.
What the heck?
I know. There's a lot of opportunity out there.
Who's buying garage shelves? I mean, apparently a lot of people.
Yeah, they're like $600 or $700.
Dang. I heard you talk about something one time, and it was like people selling pizza in like a parking lot.
Yeah.
What was the deal with that?
Yeah, I was in Cameron, Missouri. There's like nobody there. And I pulled into this hardware store with a friend, and there was this young couple with kids selling pizzas in a parking lot. They had a $100 canopy from Walmart. They had a $60 folding table. And then they had like two $400 pizza ovens. And then their truck. And they were selling these $18 pizzas that cost them like $3 to make. They didn't even pay rent. They just
were allowed to be in that parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. They just asked the manager, and he's like, sure. Okay. We don't use that part of the parking lot. And this is in a city with arguably like no opportunity. This is Missouri, like no growth in the city, no big employers. Like either you're like a nurse, a teacher, or unemployed. And this couple just went out there and watched a few YouTube videos and started selling pizza. And they're doing like 500 a day, working like the lunch hours.
500 a day, and they don't have to pay rent. And obviously, I'm assuming that whoever is the owner or the manager of that store is like, hey, this is actually bringing in more customers to my store. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly.
So see that's like the grown-up lemonade stand. I love that, because literally anyone could just think of something and do it and make some money, but you have to have a plan, right? And you have to be determined. And I think that is key in making a business, and also showing humility, because a lot of people, they have pride, they have big egos, and they're like, I'm not going to sell pizza in a parking lot.
Yeah. You can't be broke and prideful at the same time. That doesn't work. You got to pick one.
It's true. I heard this saying one time, and they said, poor people stay poor by acting rich, and rich people stay rich by acting poor.
That's really good.
Because I've seen a lot of millionaires, and they're driving beat up pickup trucks because they don't care. They're like, whatever, I'm not trying to like make a scene. And then I see some other people, and they're living in this, 1-bedroom apartment with 5 kids, and they're driving some crazy upscale car with a designer bag because they want to, put on a scene. And I'm like, whoa.
And they'll stay that way unless they change their behaviors.
Wow. Yeah. So what are some tips, or what do you look for when you're looking for, I know you said a busy mom, but when you're looking to hire someone, or maybe to partner with someone that you want to go into business with, do you look for experience? Like, what are you looking for in that person?
I look for 4 things. So number 1, bias for action. Someone that's very curious and very impatient. So like you have questions about the world, and you have to get that answered immediately. You can't teach bias for action. Number 2, I look for humility. We were just talking about that, right? Someone that's willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. I call it the MIH gene. Someone that can just make it happen. Number 3, someone that is grateful. It just has gratitude naturally. He's grateful for the opportunity. And then number 4, I look for someone with energy, like good energy. It sounds a little woo-woo, but just someone that like you walk away from feeling uplifted, right? Someone that excites you, someone that's fun to talk to. To me, that's a winner right there, or at least that's a person that's more likely to become a winner.
Okay. So they don't necessarily have to have experience because you can train someone or teach someone
Oh
anything,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yep,
Yeah. No, that's really good because you can't really teach someone attitude.
yeah. If they're humble, they're moldable, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what is your favorite business to date? And then I have a personal question for you.
Sure. My favorite, like one that I've started in the past.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be, it's like asking which kid is my favorite. Uh, Let me think.
What's your favorite kid? Who's your favorite?
Probably my RV park business. We buy RV parks, and I love that business because if the economy is doing great, then it's a great business because people are traveling and you have a lot of short-term stays, and short-term stays are more profitable. But if the economy tanks, people stop traveling, but they need an affordable place to live. And there's nothing more affordable than living in an RV. And so it's a hedge against a good or a bad economy. And it's fun. It's like, I love RVs. My family saw all 50 states in 60 days in an RV. So yeah, I love the business.
Okay. How did you do that? Like, not to like change gears, but how did you do that in 60 days?
We
booked
bought an
it.
RV. We just booked it. Yeah. I mean, some states we were in for an hour, and some states we were in for a week, like Alaska and Hawaii. We stayed a weekend each. But it was 13,000 miles, and it was the best 2 months of our lives. It was amazing.
Dang. All right. So actually, I have two personal questions. One, I want to go back because I did a little bit of digging, and you were once obese, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. So can you share how, because you're definitely not obese anymore. You look perfect. And
Thank you.
how did you get from where you were to where you are now physically in your health?
Yeah. So it was my 10-year anniversary to 2018. And my wife and I went to Hawaii, and we climbed these mountains and took these pictures. And I had been 260 for most of our marriage, and she hadn't gained a pound. And she had never said anything to me. She's too nice to ever say, hey, watch what you're eating. And so I just looked at these pictures and I was like, what? It's like I hadn't seen a picture of myself, but I had, but just something was different. And I was like, what happened to you? Like, what happened? Like, it was just like my rock bottom moment. And, I wrestled in high school. So I like done the weight loss thing before. And I just thought, I heard keto works. Someone said that. So I guess I'm going to stop eating carbs. And so I just took it very seriously, like very, very seriously. I tracked every calorie. I weighed my food. I tracked every net carb. I learned like definitively, like good carbs, bad carbs, like you have to track, you have to weigh, you can't trust nutrition labels, no cheat days. And I did that for 5 months, like religiously. And I went from 260 to 200, and it's been 7 years, and I've kept it all off.
Wow, that's amazing. So did you not really care about the ingredients in the food? It was more about the macros, like the calories and fat, carbs and all that?
Yeah, most people that do keto, they go really heavy on the fats. And I just thought that was gross. I don't like oils, and it's just.
You're
So
in the bathroom a lot when
Yeah,
you go high
yeah,
fat.
no.
Yeah.
So I went heavy on protein. So I would do, I got like 5% of my calories from carbs and like 70% from protein, 25% from fat, something like that. And it just, the weight just came off, and I was much less hungry. It was like the easiest way to lose weight. It was much easier for me than calories in, calories out. And it's different for everyone, right? But that just worked great for me.
I think everyone is individualized because some people, they like counting, right? And they're like, I need to know, I need to have like a set plan. It helps me like mentally. And then some people are like, I can't count. Like I need freedom, but I also need to lose weight. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so how are you keto now? Like, how are you keeping it off? Are you just more conscious?
I'm just more conscious. I just used to eat like an idiot. And now I mean, there's no other way to put it. I just didn't care, and it was wrong. Now I'm just more conscious. I also started running ultra marathons after I lost the weight, because after I lost it, I'm a very logical person, and I was just like, okay, statistics show that there's an 80% chance I'm just going to gain this back. That's what happens. So how do I prevent that? Well, I should probably start doing something. Right, running. I can just go outside. I don't need to go I don't need a partner to do it. I don't like the gym. I don't like lifting. I'll just start running. And I'm very much like an all or nothing person. So I was like, I want my first race ever to be a marathon. So I trained for a marathon and I ran it. And then I was like, oh, ultra marathons are a thing? I didn't know that existed. Let's do an ultra marathon, 31 miles. And it's like, let's do 50. Let's do 100. Let's do 140. And I just kept going. So like Forrest Gump.
Man, I'm not a runner. I can barely run a mile and I'll be like huffing and puffing.
That's okay. That's where we all start.
Right. Well, I mean, you did mention the all or nothing mindset, and I think a lot of people have that, myself included, with other things. And I think that shows because of your entrepreneurship. Like you go all in, right? And you're not just like, maybe I'm going to test it for like a week. You just go in. And I think that's a huge attribute that people need to have. Otherwise, you just don't commit, right?
Yeah.
And that can be for anything. That could be for losing weight. That could be for a marriage, right? And so how long have you been married?
17 years.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I was like that in relationship. Like I have very close friends and like everyone else, and like when I dated in high school, I didn't date around. I had like a serious girlfriend or nothing, so that's just my approach to everything.
Yeah, no, I love it. You live on some acreage, right? Do you have a farm? Do you have animals or anything like that?
We used to. We moved out here for the farm. We realized we weren't good at it and all our animals kept dying.
Oh, no.
So we love the acreage. We didn't really like the farm life so much.
Okay, got it. All right, now another personal question. And this is actually when I reached out to you and I was like, hey, Chris, come on my podcast. And your church was on the news, right? It didn't get burned. Did it get burned down or did it just got set on fire?
One of our congregations, there was this lunatic that drove his truck into the church, set it on fire and killed several people.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, can you share, and what really, I guess, perked my interest, and you came on, I don't know if it was a reel or a story, but you're like, hey, I want to be more open about my faith and the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And you're just I want to just be just share more. So I'd love to give you the opportunity to just be a little bit more open. And because I think that was a turning point for a lot of people. Like we're all in that same boat of this is it was a wake up call, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I mean, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We've been referred to as Mormons, call us LDS. And we believe that Christ's original church, as we read about in the New Testament, we believe that it has been restored over the last couple hundred years, and that he will come again. And we're Christian. We are every bit Christian. We worship Christ. We pray in his name. And it's the core tenet to my entire life, to everything I do.
And how's your church doing now?
Good. I mean, that was just one of 30,000 congregations where that happened. But we're growing. I think Christianity in general is growing a lot right now. There's kind of a resurgence for faith and religion, which is cool to see.
I am seeing it for sure. In many other religions as well, not just Christianity, but I am definitely seeing a lot of people seeking, which is where it all starts, right?
Yeah, it does. It's cool to see. However we want to become better people is good, right? Whether that's religion or anything.
Right, yeah. Okay, so back to business. One more question. What would you want to invest in next, but have yet to? Is there anything you're I really want to get into this business, but you have yet to dip your toes in?
Yeah, so you're going to laugh at this one. I know what I'm saying here, but I want to start a restaurant.
Oh gosh,
I know.
after everything.
I know.
After everything. Okay, you can hire me. I'll be your chef.
Okay. I love cooking barbecue, like authentic Texas barbecue. And I would love a barbecue restaurant that has like 5 things on the menu that's small, simple, that just becomes a staple of a community for decades, right? Like, I just think it would be so fulfilling to have a restaurant that is just good. And like, every city kind of has that one place that's just been there forever. It's always busy. I would just love a place like that, even though I know it might not be the best business decision. It might be a big headache. And I might regret it, but I want to try it.
Okay, a barbecue restaurant. So you don't want to own a chain, or you just want to have one single?
I don't want to like scale it and get rich off it. Like, I just want one small restaurant that I can call my own.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did mention a few key things that it stayed in my mind, is that you only want to have like 5 items on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is key, because if you look at In-N-Out, like their menu is like so minimal and it's booming. I mean, I'm not saying In-N-Out is like a healthy place to go eat. I'm just saying, like, from the business perspective, it's smart to just have minimal things, because that's all you're making. Like, you can't go wrong with flipping a burger.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I want to go the In-N-Out way, not like the Cheesecake Factory way.
Oh gosh, those are just, you have like the pasta and then the fish and the chicken and the barbecue and like the dessert. It's too much.
Everything's like 3,000 calories.
It's insane. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think well, if you open the restaurant, I'll be on the lookout. And if I ever go to that city, I'm going to check it out, because, I'm a foodie. So why not?
Me too. I love food. It's my love language.
All right. So what advice would you want to give to my listeners as we close? What to do if you need to start? I mean, I know you answered this, but starting a business, like some key takeaways of like, hey, do this, stay away from that.
Yeah. Researching business ideas is not doing business. Some people think that they're in the game because they're learning and they're researching. You just got to go sell something. Like, sell it before you have it. Like, see if you can find a paying customer before you even really know, like, if you'll be able to fulfill it. And worst case, you refund them, right? If you want to do social media management, like, try to sell someone on that before you even really know how to do it. Sometimes we do these, what I call advanced forms of procrastination, right? Well, they'll do market research and they'll talk to people and they're just researching. They're endlessly seeking and never finding, So just like take one idea and say, I'm not married to this. Like, I'm not married to this long-term, but for the next week or month, I'm married to this idea and I'm going to find a paying customer, and then try to find a paying customer. And if it doesn't go well, then go to your next idea and try that.
Okay. Yeah, very good. All right. Where can people find you on social media? What's your website? Like, give us the details.
Yeah, I'm at tkopod.com. It's the Kerner Office Podcast, spelled like my last name.
Okay. All right. I'll put all those links in today's show notes, where you can find him on YouTube and all the social media outlets. And so you guys can go check him out. I love his reels. I love these like little short clips of ideas that people can really take a spin off of. And you can literally start it in your own hometown. Start a banana dipping company, who knows?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Awesome. Thank you, Bethany.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson, and to check out more shows by my team, go to wellnessloud.com, and to email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.